yeah, thank you, Jess, for the introduction. And thank you, everyone, for joining. And thank you, IS and AVAC, in particular, for contacting us and coordinating this and seeing an importance of us as advocates to just come and lead the session, in particular, sharing the journey of what we've been doing in our countries. Yeah, I think I'm not going to go deeper into the science, but just a brief introduction of the science and the background for those that are not well informed about the background of U equals U being undetectable equals untransmittable. Basically, the meaning is when someone on HIV treatment is undetectable, is on treatment on effective ARVs, and when that person is undetectable, that means that person cannot transmit HIV to their sexual partners. So there were studies that were done, about 4 studies. There's HPDN study that was done. There's partner 1, there's partner 2 study that was done, and also there's opposite attract study. And what is nice about these studies, they were done across heterosexual and homosexual couples, discordant couples, or mixed HIV status couple. And the outcome of all these studies that were done through thousands and thousands of couples, and they proved that there was no transmission linked from the HIV positive person to the HIV negative partner when the HIV positive one was on effective ARVs. I mean, there was zero transmission. There was no transmission at all. So at times we see people, some clinicians say there may be a little bit risk. There may be, so just in case. No, there's no just in case. It has been proven. There's science, there's data that has proven that when the HIV positive partner is on effective ARVs and undetectable, that person cannot pass HIV to the HIV negative partner. So that was just an introduction and opening remarks from me. I've got my panel members here. I've got Kennedy, I've got William, and I've got Cameron. So we will just talk briefly about what we're doing in our countries and definitely the global movement and all that. And I'm glad and I'm so excited to have Cameron joining us from, he's going to say, he's going to talk and tell us more where he's coming from. And, I think from his introduction, definitely will find how important of us having him part of this session, because if it was not for the organization that Cam is representing, probably some of us, even myself, maybe I don't think I would have known about U equals U. So yeah, and as they come on board, the panelists, as they come on board and take a stand, they will definitely introduce themselves. So Cam will just talk about, or will take us through the global movement of U equals U, because U equals U campaign is not a regional, it's not a country specific campaign, is a global movement. So Cam, just briefly take us through U equals U movement globally. What is it? What happened? Who started this campaign? When did it start? And all that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mandisa. I'm so excited to be here and to share this information and this great news with all of you, and to have a great time to talk about U equals U. So yes, as Mandy said, I'm Cameron Kinker. I am the Director of Programs based in the US, but I still do a little bit of global work and have obviously in the 3 years since I joined Prevention Access Campaign. A little bit about PAC, or Prevention Access Campaign. We were founded back 5 years ago tomorrow, can you believe, when we brought together a global coalition of scientists and advocates and people living with HIV who basically all work together to build this consensus statement. The science that proves U equals U, as Mandy was saying, that shows that it's impossible to transmit when someone is undetectable or below 200 copies per milliliter, was not getting out to the people that needed to hear it most, and that's people living with HIV, right? So this group of people led by Bruce Richmond and a number of other folks came together to create this document where they then used as an advocacy tool to get, health organizations, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, nonprofits, et cetera, to all sign on and basically say, yes, we believe that undetectable equals untransmittable is true, and we're committing to telling people. So in the 5 years since we launched U equals U, it has now grown to be in over 102 countries, and we have, I think, 1,045 community partners, so people who have signed on to that consensus document in the past 5 years. So we are in every corner of every continent except Antarctica, but I do believe that we can still, you know, get the word out to the penguins if they want to. And it's really been people like Mandy and William and Kennedy who have been at the forefront of this movement, the grassroots, bringing this information to the people that most need to hear it. And it's been absolutely amazing seeing, you know, Mandy has her marches, and William, you had a U equals U conference, and all over the world, there's this amazing groundswell of activism and work by people living with HIV who understand the implications of this message, how it fights stigma, encourages testing, adherence, all of these amazing health benefits of U equals U, and it also can get us towards ending the epidemic. So yeah, I just, again, pay tribute to the work of the 3 folks that are on the Zoom with me right now, and of course, I'm sure plenty of other people who are on the Zoom right now. You know, this has been a grassroots campaign from the beginning, and it's been an absolute joy to be a part of it for the past 3 years.
Wow, thank you so much, Cam. Honestly, I'm grateful to be part of this movement. It's a great, great movement, and 104 countries, that's not a piece of cake. And, you know, PAC being leading this and still actively leading, we're so appreciating of the role that PAC is actually leading. And yeah, and then mentioning, because the progress, like 5 years ago, but this is the 5th year of the anniversary of PAC launching, and you know, I'm so grateful. 1,000 plus organization leading. That's exciting to hear. And yeah, you know, we're gonna briefly talk about because U equals U. You know, the mandate and the focus from what I heard from PAC, of course, is that they really want people with HIV to lead and to be in the forefront and actually internalize this message. This is something that is very powerful. And I believe probably Kennedy will have something to share about it, and Williams will definitely have something to share about it. And obviously, me, you know, being part of this in the country and leading personal benefit and personal experience, I'll get into Ken and to William, of course. But when we're leading with personal testimonies. We're saying to our peers, look at us. You know, this is doable. We can do it. We can actually prevent transmitting HIV to our partners. And we can stand and say, HIV stops with me. Like, for instance, in my case, 18 years ago, I was diagnosed with HIV, and then I met my partner in 2003, that is 17 years ago, and he's HIV negative. And it was a struggle. It was very difficult for us to engage. And of course, we are adults, you know, sexually and all that. And I remember one time I had to pay thousands of rands for me to conceive, because we got married and I was expected to actually conceive and have a child. I paid thousands of rands, but as soon as we got to hear about U equals U, that was a ticket for us. That was an opportunity actually for us to, a breakthrough, if I can put it that way. So that's how I link and connect to the U equals U message, because it gave me, as a woman living with HIV, a freedom to practice my sexual reproductive health rights free without fear of infecting my partner. And I was able to conceive freely. Like, for instance, we know currently there is a case of women living with HIV that were forcefully sterilized because of their HIV status. That was way before we knew about U equals U. So that's a benefit, and that's what U equals U means to me as a person. So I'll get into Kennedy. Kennedy, briefly about yourself, and what does U equals U mean to you as a person?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mandy. Kennedy Mupeli from Botswana. Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes, perfectly.
Yes, okay. Yes. So some of us who are long-term survivors, we have always been looking for the evidence from the science world that actually will emancipate us to be able to enjoy life like the rest of our folks, because we realize that living with HIV came with a lot of restrictions, and especially that HIV was sexually transmitted. all the restrictions were around sex and sexuality. So all these years that I've known my status, and honestly, the best news that I came across from the science is the fact that when you are virally suppressed, you cannot transmit HIV. This is the most exciting news of the century. So I'm very, very excited to be part of this movement. And for me, actually, it means being relieved of this ton of shame, ton of isolation, ton of being infectious that were heaped on our shoulders, because everyone knew that if you're HIV positive, you can transmit HIV. So basically, this is the happiness that comes with you because you. And we know, maybe we'll get back to that, and there are a lot of advantages of knowing your HIV status. If you're positive, then your sexual life may not be altered because you cannot transmit HIV. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. And I like the fact that you're saying the offloading of a burden. And, you know, I remember when I first met my boyfriend then, 3 years into the relationship, honestly, I was so anxious because I was like thinking, what if one day he gets tired of using condom? And I don't know, honestly, if it was not for you, because he will still be alive. Because practically, and to be honest, people don't want to use protection. Studies in South Africa has proven that the condom use has dropped to below 39%. You know, that's a proof that people don't want to use protection. And if it was not for U equals U, maybe we wouldn't be together. So that's why I'm so grateful. I'm just adding to what you are saying, Ken. And William, over to you. What does U equals U mean to you as a person? And you can introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is William Matovu from Uganda, and I work with Love as a co-founding member and other duties in Love organization. U equals U means happiness in my life. When I knew about U equals U in 2017, I really saw that soon we are ending HIV because of the research. And I had never heard about U equals U anywhere in Uganda. So that's why I came up to champion the U equals U message. And that is my favorite campaign all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, William. And I can attest to that. You are all over social media and you live, you breathe, U equals U, and you are very passionate about it. And I'm so grateful for the work that you are doing as a young man, of course. And I so wish in South Africa we can have dedicated, committed, and passionate young people, especially young men like you in the country. Unfortunately, that's a wish for the future, of course. So back to you, Ken. You know, PAC, and when we talk with Ken and William, we always say PAC is our mother body. PAC is our umbrella. Without PAC sheltering us and covering us in Africa, we don't know how we would move. We wouldn't be where we are with, you know, the work that we're doing. And I believe that other advocates that are in the call now would really want maybe to check maybe what guidance, what kind of support, what request can they, you know, forge forth to PAC in terms of guidance and doing exactly what we are doing in our respective country?
Yes, can I start?
No, Ken, that's for Ken. PAC, what kind of support can advocates get from PAC?
Sorry about that. I thought you said Ken, and I was like,
no, maybe not. Sorry.
No, totally good. Yeah, so we, you know, the way that we try to position ourselves is we would try to listen to what's going on the ground and try to connect people with the organizations and information that they most need, right? So whether it's someone who reaches out to us and says, oh, you know, my doctor isn't telling me and I want to figure out how I can make like PEPFAR or World Health Organization or UNAIDS, et cetera, right, that are doing on the ground work, we, you know, are always happy to try to facilitate any sort of connections on that level as well, especially as far as getting, you know, more so on the ground support for folks. So, you know, a lot of times it's really just making sure that we're giving people the accurate information that they need, and then connecting each other to different advocates. So like recently, all of us participated in the first inaugural U = U Africa Collaborative, where we had a really amazing 2-hour meeting with stakeholders and people living with HIV and organizers from all over sub-Saharan Africa to try to share best practices and work together and share, you know, just what are the tips that people can give each other as far as, you know, how to get the word out, how to organize to make sure that it's in your treatment guidelines, or that there's, you know, support from the government, etc. So that's really where we try to position ourselves as the connectors, the amplifiers, the just the people that can, you know, make sure that everyone is getting the information that they need. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do, but it's been really exciting to see that there's all this newfound energy that we can try to connect different advocates with from all over the world.
Yeah, mentioning the recent webinar 2-hour session that we had, it was quite exciting and powerful event. And just at that point, I'll just ask Kennedy and William. We are in different countries, and Kem is mentioning that there were different organizations from sub-Saharan Africa, Eastern and Southern, different African countries that were part of that session, PAC being an umbrella, of course, and leading us and guiding us. So there is U = U Africa Forum, a Kennedy, that I heard about, and William, which is now moving from the global umbrella. Then in the region, definitely we have to be structured, we have to be coordinated, and there has to be an umbrella body that will hold us accountable. Because at the end of the day, we want, as Kem was saying, we want this message to do exactly what it's meant to do, prevent transmission. And we want exactly this message to help us in achieving the treatment goal and ending the epidemic by 2030. And without a coordinating body and ensuring that we are held accountable as advocates, at times there's a tendency of people to misuse the message and actually do it the way they want to do it without quoting from the science and using it appropriately. So in the region, there is a body, U = U Africa Forum. So tell us more about it. What is the structure, and what is the target group? What is the mandate of the U = U Africa Forum? Kennedy, over to you, then William will add.
Thank you so much. So the U = U Africa Forum was built on existing, you know, individual country efforts towards, you know, U = U. So what happened is that in 2019, Love to Love also had a conference. Then in 2020, we also had a conference that we organized as Center for Youth of Oposeyoho in Botswana. And that's where the momentum started, you know, building up, because we knew that we cannot work in silos. I mean, we need to work as a continent. So that we push this agenda, different voices from different countries as one. So because a united voice actually from my advocacy, you know, experience is that it has more impact than when we work in isolation. So that's the reason why we came up with Africa Forum, so that we can be Africa U = U Forum, so that we can be able to mobilize African countries, Minister of Health, respective Minister of Health in African countries, and activists in these respective countries to be able to push for the U = U agenda. And this Africa Forum actually falls under the auspices of the Prevention Access Campaign, PAC, because we don't want to work in to create you know, other branches of U = U. So we just want to work under one, you know, united voice of U = U. And we are working under the PAC, and they've been supporting us, giving us technical assistance. Even the last meeting is PAC that actually helped us organize. And because This is a movement that is not started by a US agency or US funded organization. This, William, Mandy, and I just took it upon ourselves to say, guys, let us form something that we can call a U Africa Forum, so that we can begin to empower our folks, can begin to push, our respective Minister of Health to be able to recognize that U is equals U. Because we know that this treatment, this aspect of, we've been taught that, look, if you are HIV positive and virus suppressed, you will live well, you live healthy. We know that. That aspect of treatment is gladly shared when you're with a doctor. But this aspect of not transmitting HIV, everyone remains mute. And we know that if we don't talk about it, it will fuel stigma and actually to impact negatively on access to other HIV and AIDS services. So that's the reason why we came, briefly, that's how we came up with Africa Equals You Forum.
Thank you, Ken. Anything to add, William?
Thank you so much, Kenneth, for highlighting those lines, and I'm really grateful that we came up with the Africa U Equals U Forum, and we look forward to engaging with other people who have that passion. In advocacy, passion matters a lot. So we know funding at times will be coming in, but we should put focus on passion, driving this agenda with service delivery. So we want to do things with passion. So I think the question you asked about how we can go about this, I think we want people to join us, but with passion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, William. And I saw there was a comment on the chat box, someone asking to be added. Definitely, Ken will share the WhatsApp. There's a WhatsApp group for the Africa Forum. Kennedy will share details so that people can join the WhatsApp group and we take the movement forward. So probably maybe some folks on the call, they've tried something, or maybe they think, oh, okay, how did then Ken, William, and Mandisa manage to rise above, or how do they manage to break through the walls and stuff, thinking it's easy for us and we are like flowing without any pushbacks. So I'll start with you, William. I understand it hasn't been an easy journey, and any pushbacks in your country, since you started the movement, did you manage to get a political buy-in and the scaling up within your country, how the process is?
Someone should mute his or her mic. Should I proceed now?
Yes, William.
Okay, so here in Uganda, as Love organization and other stakeholders in the country, we have tried our level best to see that the U Equals U message is being understood in the country. But the government has not yet endorsed the U Equals U message. And according to our research as Love organization, it is because of they think this message is for the gay community, which is very, very wrong. Because we know that HIV does not affect a certain kind of group, but it affects all the community, regardless of your sexual orientation. So when we had a conference about U Equals U in 2019, we wrote a letter to the Minister of Health in Uganda so that they can be part of the conference. But they turned our invitation, which was really so, it disturbed us our plans, but we said we shall keep telling this message regardless whether they have supported us or not. So we kept on, the conference went on well, and we had about like 100 participants from different organizations who came and participated in this conference. Another thing, the major challenge we do have here and around the globe, it is HIV colonialism. In this, I'm trying to mean that withholding vital information about HIV and sexual reproductive health. So when the UU came in, some people are trying to keep it so that it does not go out to many people within our communities. And when I began championing the UU message in 2017, there is a lady in the US. She was funding us. We have children who are living with HIV, who are disadvantaged, and we used to pay school fees for them. But when she saw us, me and Mr. Daniel, talking about U equals U, she stopped the funding. But for us, we said we should keep advocating for this because it is scientifically proven. Why should somebody keep such kind of information? So we have tried to move around.
Sorry, William. Jessica, will you be able to mute Maureen? Maureen, can you please mute yourself?
Yeah, Mandisa, I'm actually the host now, and I'm trying to mute her. She has to accept it. Go ahead,
Thanks,
William.
Anna.
Thanks.
Thanks.
So we in 2017 and 19, sorry, we tried to move around different organizations, those big organizations, so that they can champion the U equals U message. But things have not been moving on well, but we are still pressing, and we have been doing a lot of community engagements, and people have liked the message, and it has really changed their way of living. I rest my case.
Wow, that's inspiring, William, honestly. And this really proves that U equals U is an advocacy community movement. And without having an advocacy spirit, and as an advocate, you're pushing, and you push until doors open. I'll just share my story after Kennedy, but it just shows that it's not an easy journey, it's not an easy movement, and people mustn't think that there will be a buy-in like that. But people have to be persevere and to be patient and know exactly where they want to go with the movement. And over to you, Kennedy.
Kennedy, you're actually muted right now. Perfect. I think we can hear you if you go ahead.
So it's fine now?
Yes, thank you, Kennedy. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to just 30 seconds run through our advocacy agenda for the Africa U equals U Forum. So soon we'll be identifying key, in-country ambassadors, and we'll be providing them with training. And we want to start with a U equals U, barometer. This is a barometer that we're going to use to measure progress in individual countries across Africa on how they are achieving or how they are sharing the U equals U message. So coming back to Botswana, actually all our community activities are hinges on science. It hinges on HPTN 052 results, the opposite attract study that Mandy mentioned about, talked about, then the partner study 1 and 2. And also, most importantly, we are also talking about the consensus statement by various stakeholders, the CDC letter, the World Health Organization statement on viral suppression. So what we've done is we don't want this message to be diluted, and we wanted to have it right from the way it go. So what we've done is we have just created a simple communication approach of trying to empower our community educators on how to communicate U equals U message, and most importantly, why do you communicate? Do we need to communicate U equals U message? And exactly what do we need to communicate about U equals U message? So these are the critical components in our communication strategy that we are using in pushing U equals U across to the community. So we have realized that the best people actually to turn up the volume are people living with HIV themselves. So we have continued building the capacity in the area of treatment literacy, and science and research literacy. So because we need them to understand the basics around these, studies that were done around U cause U. So yeah, so we're also increasing this awareness in the community, talking about undetectable viral load and what it means to people in raw language, devoid of jargon. So that's what we do in the community. And we know that stigma is, if it's removed, people will be able to access services freely without fear, without shame. We are aware that U cause U has the potential to address all kinds of HIV-related stigma. So that's what we've been doing in a nutshell as a country. And it's not the funding, there's no funding for it. As William said, we want to build a movement of passionate people. We want to build a movement that is driven by passion and not driven by an incentive of some kind. An incentive can come along the way. I'm not disputing that. But what you want, the strong foundation for the U cause U Africa is the passion of activists. So look out for across Africa. We'll be actually sharing the application form for those who are interested to be part of the U cause U movement in Africa. Thank you so much.
And I like the fact that you're mentioning the issue of passion and with no hidden agenda. And Bruce from PAC always mentioned that the current African countries are people that are driven by passion. There are no resources at all. We're just doing what we're doing out of love and out of passion. And of course, there's no movement that can be driven without any resources, but we know that resources will catch us on the way. So back to myself in the country, in South Africa, and I really appreciate the support that I got from AVAC. If it was not for AVAC, because this goal of driving the U equals U in the country is part of my AVAC fellowship. And if it was not for the support and resources for AVAC, I don't think anything would have happened in the country. Because when I started about the movement, like William was saying, there was quietness. No one was talking about U equals U in the country. No patience about, I think about 10% of people knew about U equals U. But to be honest, it's the same thing, the same struggle, especially the government buy-in and all that. But 7 or 8 months later, I've been in contact with different big organizations in the country. And the minister had a meeting with the National Department of Health. I had different meetings with Provincial Department of Health. And before the end of this year, unfortunately, if COVID allows, there will be a national campaign. The country, South Africa, will launch national U equals U in the country. So I think it goes with us moving and pushing and advocating for what we believe in, because this message, advocates, I repeat, U equals U message is about us. We are freeing our peers. We are telling our peers that there is science that believes that we need to live a free life. And one important thing that I've been using, I think that is also drawing more people, especially in the program and the funding agencies, to come on board and realize the importance, is actually making them see over and above U equals U being a message that is actually benefiting us in terms of eliminating stigma and in terms of ensuring our sexual and reproductive health rights is free. There is a benefit of ending the epidemic. Because at the end of the day, when we're motivating our peers to stay on treatment and be virally suppressed, at the end of the day, we'll be able to end the epidemic. And we know for sure that the countries across the region, and even in other countries, they did not achieve the second and the third 90. So whatever that I'm saying, I'm selling this campaign to say it has the potential to actually assist countries to achieve the second and the third 90. So any advocate that is here and want to push this, make sure that you are ready, you are strong, and you are willing to advocate until they buy into the movement. And because of time, we need to move. Cam, 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Tomorrow, a big day, exciting day. Tell us about it. I don't want to spoil what you're going to say. Tell us about tomorrow.
Well, thank you, Mandy. Yeah, well, Mandy and I and lots of people have been working really hard to put together a really special hour-long U=U birthday celebration. Mandy is one of our amazing hosts during the event. We have lots of videos from activists all over the world who have shared about what U=U means to them. So I posted an article in the chat a little bit ago that has all the information about how you can join. It'll be streaming on the Prevention Access Campaign Facebook and YouTube at 3 p.m. New York time, 9 p.m. Johannesburg time. All the times are listed on the graphics in that article. We really hope you'll be able to join. We'll have a little after party as well on Zoom so everyone can celebrate together and talk. But it's really just going to be a chance to celebrate how far this message has come over the past 5 years, encourage people to continue to get the word out, and just bring everyone together who's been a part of the campaign since the beginning. So I really hope you all can join. I'll post the article again with more information in the chat. And yeah, Mandy has been such an amazing champion for this process as well. And I hope everyone tunes in to see her pull out some amazing hosting skills. It'll be really fun.
Thank you, Kim. Everyone, you are welcome to join us tomorrow. And yeah, I think this is time for us, everyone in the webinar, to actually ask something, to talk. You unmute yourself if you want to say anything. Allow me, William, Kennedy, and Cam, to go through the questions, and each and every one of them can actually jump in and answer the question. And there's one question I think is directed to me. Can I say more about U=U is misused, as I mentioned earlier? And what I said is that sometimes if the government, that's what I'm saying in my country, and I said, if the government does not adopt this and scale it up, people have a tendency of using the message in a way that they want to use it. The U=U says, if someone with HIV on treatment, virally suppressed, cannot transmit HIV. And that says, you don't have to use protection. You don't have to use condom. Your partner does not have to use PrEP. But then there are terms and conditions that I, as a person with HIV, needs to be binded by. I have to make sure that I'm adhering to my treatment. I'm taking my treatment every day, and I have to make sure that I'm continuously checking my viral load. I know every time when I test, my viral load is suppressed. But then if the government does not endorse and scale this message properly and to people that are relevant, sharing this message, meaning people can say, data has proven that HIV positive people can sleep without a condom and then they won't spread HIV, without looking at the pros and cons and those binding commitments that we supposed to commit as HIV positive people. So that I'm saying, this message can be misused this time if it's not shared properly by people with the right information. That's why we're saying the structures has to be coordinated so that we know this message, it is spread, it is escalated properly. I don't think there's anything to add, but I see there is a hand. As not, your hand is up, you can go ahead. I will check other questions on the chat box in the meantime.
Hi, Mandisa.
Respond to it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I've got a question. I've got a question on U=U. In a situation when a person has attained or reached undetectable viral loads, others say that the virus has hidden. So I just want to find out, where does it go? There are rumors, I don't know how true it is. They say that the virus has hidden in the bone marrow, but I don't know. I just want to have clarity on that one. Thank you.
Okay. I will start. Okay, you wanted to say, Ken, you can go ahead and Ken.
Yeah, so basically what it means is that it's a level in your blood. So it's undetectable in your blood, which means that means it's not going to transmit. There are still reservoirs of virus that will exist in some parts of your body, such as breast tissue, in your brain, but it's in your blood is where we measure it with viral load tests. And all of the science, like we've been talking about, proves that, that as long as you're taking your medication and you're staying undetectable, there's no risk of passing it on to your partners. So it's not a cure. The virus doesn't go away, but it does suppress it so much that, again, you can't pass it on. So I hope that at least answers your question a little bit.
That's it, done. It's a reservoir, it's latent, it's hidden, it's somewhere else hidden, it's nowhere to be found, not in the blood, not in the semen, not in your genital fluids, it's nowhere there. So it cannot be transmitted. I hope you got that right, Esnet. Thank you, Cam. That was a brilliant answer. Any hand, people, you can unmute yourself. You panelists, you can assist me in looking for other questions. And Hannah, you can also assist us if there are any questions that you're picking up.
I'm happy to read a couple of questions that have come in. Someone asked, how long do you need to be undetectable before you cannot transmit the virus? I am worried that if I stay undetectable but then get ill, I will become detectable and pass it on to my partner. That's the full question verbatim.
Kennedy?
How long do you have to be undetectable before you are safe from your sexual partner? Yes. Oh, some literature they said 3 months, but maximum is 6 months. So beyond that, then you are okay. You can't transmit HIV.
Thank you, Kennedy. And I think part of that question, someone mentioned if you're sick or you get a cold, does that mean you're less safe? Does that mean you're suddenly detectable again? Can we respond to that part of the question too? I don't want to miss that nuance.
Just to add on that, being sick and having cold, and it has nothing to, it's not going to pick up the reservoir that Kem spoke about. That hidden virus that ran away from the ARVs is not going to come back because you are sick. As long as you are taking your treatment, the key is you taking your treatment and be virally suppressed. You're sick, you have runny tummy and all that, as long as you are taking your treatment well.
Just, I'll give myself as an example. Virally suppressed for the past 16 years. So not even a blip. People have been told about a blip. I do viral test twice a year. All the 16 years, virally suppressed. So it's something that works. I mean, I don't know whether people fail, but it's biological. And this still has to be assessed by doctors. But most people who are virally suppressed, they stay so.
And it doesn't mean that you don't have flu. You don't get flu, Ken. You don't get any other sicknesses that people get, but that does not disturb your viral suppression. Thank you so much. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you, guys. Another question we got is how, and I apologize for the background noise, how receptive are healthcare providers to the U=U message? How informed are they?
You want to say something, William?
Here in Uganda, health workers are so silent about the U=U message. And I think there should be more education to educate them about the new science, because they are rigged with old school information about HIV. So we need to educate them about the new science of HIV. So that's why they don't want to share the U=U message. Most of them are just rigged.
Just to add on that, William, in terms of receptiveness in South Africa, I haven't received any pushbacks. But in terms of knowledge, that's where the problem is. They don't have knowledge, they don't know about it. And that's what I've been trying to push with the training departments in the country, so that we can get information, put together literature material, and they then scale up, you know, in terms of clinicians being informed. They don't have any problem. They believe, because as Ken was saying, the most important thing is to bring science and evidence so that they can know that the message is authentic. And I can see Mikhail, the hand is up. You can go ahead.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is Michael from Nigeria. There is this question that do come up each time you talk about U=U, and have to do with disclosure. Some people do argue that if you are undetectable, you should not disclose to your intended partner that you want to get married to. I don't know if that is correct.
I'm not sure if I got that right. If you are undetectable.
if you're undetectable, you shouldn't disclose to your intended partner of your HIV status, despite being negative or positive.
That's very, very wrong.
Is it wrong? Is wrong, right?
Yes.
All right.
You should, if you're going into a relationship, you have to disclose your HIV status to your partner, because once you don't disclose at this moment and he or she finds out, then you're not honest to your partner.
That has a potential of destroying the relationship, definitely.
And just to add on, it's so important just to disclose to your partner so that they take it or leave it. I mean, if they're gonna say, no, me, I can't get into a serious relationship with someone who's HIV positive, then you know that that's not the right partner for you. Move on. There are a lot of guys on the queue. So please move to the next partner until you find one who's compatible with you. Thank you.
Move next on the queue. I like that. And yeah, Hannah, back to you. And there is a hand. Esnat, I'm not sure that's your old hand or that's your new hand.
Hi. It's a new one. It's a new one, Mandisa.
Okay.
Thank you. I just need clarity because we've been debating on this. I don't know if you talked about it. My internet is not that stable. So I would want to find out, like in a situation when a person gets direct exposed to the person who's HIV positive, but has attained U is equals to U, are there any chances that this person can still get the virus? Thank you.
Okay, let me repeat. Someone HIV negative dating or getting sexual connected to an HIV positive person who is undetectable. That's your question?
Yes, Mandisa. Direct exposed.
Sexually.
What do you mean direct?
Let me just yes, sexually, yes. Just sexually, yes. That's what I mean. Okay. The situation when a person gets direct exposed to the person who's HIV positive but has attained U is equals to U. Are there any chances that that person can still get the virus? That's my question. Thank you.
Take it, Kenny.
Yes, that's what we are already talking about here, Esnat. That if you are virally suppressed, you can't. No matter how much exposed you are sexually to your partner, there's no HIV transmission that can happen. So that's what that's why we are here. We are saying if you are undetectable, you cannot transmit HIV. You do, because people usually mistake this to reduction in risk. We are not talking about reduction in risk here. We are saying it's zero, meaning there's no risk. So that's what we're talking about here. So if you are HIV negative and your partner is HIV positive and virally suppressed and undetectable, there is no way under the sun they're gonna infect you with HIV. Just go on, enjoy your sex to the fullest. Thank you.
It's unclear.
Thank you so much. We've been having debates on that. That's the reason why I asked that question. Thank you very much for answering my question.
So Esnat, I'm not sure, maybe by the time I was like sharing my personal testimony, you were not connected. Since 2014, my husband is HIV negative. Since 2014, when we found out about U equals U, I will use your terms, your words. My husband was directly exposed to me being HIV positive. And 7 years later, my husband is still HIV negative. He's not using PrEP and we're not using protection. He is protected by me being on ARVs and remain virally suppressed for the past 17 years. So yeah, Hannah, over to you.
We have another question coming in from Michael. Michael, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. It's not a question this time around. I just have a kind of a suggestion that since we are coming together as Africa to spread the message of U equals U, there is need for us to have a synergy or have a platform where we could help ourselves with resources, such as material, like activities that one can do around U equals to U, and some educative material of how to promote this message. You all know that for us to sustain this campaign, we need energy, we need resources, And we need idea, and we need capacity as well. Individually, we may not be able to go far, but collectively, we'll be able to achieve more. So I don't know if as Africa promoting this message, we'll have a forum where we'll be sharing all these materials to ensure that we do very well in this campaign. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. That was powerful. And I'm busy writing my email address over and above the WhatsApp group numbers that can post it. This email address is for you to share your name, your organization, and your email address so that I can forward this information to Ken. We are busy developing a database of organization and individual active advocates that want to push this agenda in the region, that is in Africa, people that want to be part of U equals U Africa Forum. So I'm sharing my email address. Yeah. So just for the next 2 minutes, I'll give Hannah to check if there are any, then the last 3 minutes will be just a roundup or sum up.
I think there are a couple of questions that have come in. I would encourage folks, since we do need to end at the top of the hour because this line is being used for a 12 o'clock IAS session, to please follow up with Mandy and write down her email address right now so you can get in contact with her directly. I don't know if Kennedy or Cameron, anyone else wants to make themselves available and share their contact information as well. I'm also more than happy to if you want to send something to me personally, to share that with you. So Mandy, why don't we just go ahead right now into wrapping up, since we will need to close.
Okay, just let's give Nobom some time. Nobom, you wanted to say something?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mandy. What I'm thinking of, I'm very happy about this U is equal to U, but I'm still thinking about the adolescents that were PMTCT babies that now are started to date, and some of them are virally suppressed. So is it ideal for us to advocate for this, or is it still, are they still tender to know this information that U is equal to U? Because some they are starting relationships with partners that are non-reactive. So I'm just wondering, looking at their ages and being PMTCT babies that are virgins, yeah.
Sorry, so just let me take that one. Unfortunately, this message or this information is on the internet. It's all over the internet, and they will know either way. And the problematic part is once they get to know this information, themselves, it's like when the parents are not guiding children and they are guided on getting information from their peers, they tend to get information in a wrong way and misuse that information. So that's what I'm saying. If this information is scaled up and if it's being shared by people with knowledge and people that knows exactly how to package this information in a proper way, definitely it's going to assist and help them. Over and above that, the unfortunate part is condom use is decreasing. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that even them, they are suppressed so that even if they decide not to use protection behind closed doors, at least they are suppressed, because the most important part of this message is to push treatment adherence and suppression. Yeah, in the interest of time, 5 seconds, 10 seconds each. I'll start with Cameron. Just your closing remarks, Cam.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mandy. Really quickly, please feel free to reach out to Prevention Access Campaign if you need any resources or help. As you could probably tell in the chat, we have lots of different documents and resources that we can help answer any more questions that you or people that you know have, and also lots of other helpful things. So please feel free to get in contact with us, and thank you all so much for joining us. This, I think, was a really wonderful chat.
Cam, did you share the link for the tomorrow event?
Yes, I shared it once. I'll share it one more time now.
Okay, William, closing remarks. You are muted.
Okay, sorry. First of all, I want to thank you so much, Mandy, for organizing this, and other colleagues who have organized this meeting. And I want to continue encouraging all fellow advocates who are in love with the U equals U message to continue advocating for it so that it can be in all corners of this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, William Kennedy.
Thank you so much, Mandy, and thank you. A big thumbs up to AVEC for this opportunity. Please continue. I was a fellow in 2017. I've worked closely with AVEC. I know how it feels to be among strong advocates. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And if you are virally suppressed and the only reason you are going to use a condom is because of HIV, please go out. You are suppressed. Go and enjoy sex. Don't be inhibited by anything. Please go out. Tell the world that you are suppressed. Use a condom if you think you are protecting yourselves from other STIs apart from HIV. Thank you so much.
Big up to AVEC. Thank you so much, AVEC, for this opportunity. IAS, and thank you everyone for joining the sermon. It was fruitful, and honestly, without you, we wouldn't have the energy to share what we shared. Thank you so much for joining, and see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. All time tomorrow.